I'd always dreamed of becoming a professional athlete, going all in on running and seeing how far I could get. But as a 2:38 marathoner living in the UK, this sounded more like a delusion than a realistic goal. But against all odds, 2 years later, after quitting my job and moving to Japan, I ran a 2:14 and signed a pro contract with Brooks. It's been a roller coaster ride since then, but unfortunately, that 1-year deal came to an end recently. So I never thought I'd get to the point where I could actually have a professional running contract in the first place. Like when I was growing up in school and in uni, there were 100 guys that were quicker than me, way more talented, way more speed. But in the end, almost none of them ended up making it and getting a contract. I realised that what I lacked in pure speed, I could make up for by just hammering the mileage. And that's why I just went all in on it. All in on the train harder, not smarter approach. But it's true, I basically just started running 30k every day. And I saw that as my path to be as quick a marathoner as possible. I ended up obviously getting to 2:14, but nowadays, even that's not enough. It seems like unless you're running about 2:06, it's near impossible to make a full-time living from it. It's just so competitive nowadays. Oh, okay, there we go with the run. But no, I realised that starting YouTube would obviously increase my value, increase the exposure. Like if you've got 100,000 people watching you every week, it's pretty simple maths. You're going to be so much more valuable than a runner that's ran 2:04, let's say, that shows up twice a year on a marathon start line and you never see again after that. Like at the end of the day, who's going to sell more shoes? It's the same with every sport. The best paid athletes are the ones who bring the eyeballs, because sport is a business. You've got to remember that. And I think running is lagging behind maybe compared to a lot of other sports. So it's actually easier probably to stand out by creating something like a YouTube channel, putting yourself out there on social media. So obviously it was a dream come true when Brooks gave me that sponsorship, that 1-year deal, and I could somehow become the least talented pro runner of all time. And that's how I've been funding this marathon monk lifestyle here in Japan while avoiding any immigration issues. So before I got that legendary entertainer visa here in Japan, like, you know, the combo of YouTube and pro running, somehow classified me under that category. But my plan had actually been to come out here as an English school teacher. Like that's pretty much the easiest way to get a visa here in Japan. It's how loads of foreigners come out here. And my plan had really just been to get out here so I could train with these unreal marathoners, figure out how they were so good at the marathon and use that to then become as good a runner as possible myself. Obviously in the end, I got a more enticing scholarship offer, so I had to put my teaching career to the side. But here in the Monk Mansion, in this room of requirements, there's actually one part that I didn't show you in the house tour. And we're going to take a look at that now, because actually when my Brooks contract ended, I was thinking like, oh, what do I do now? And I'm thinking, hang on, why don't I do what I planned to do all along? Why don't I become an English school teacher? So this newspaper cutout here was from when I actually just recently went into the local school to try out there as an English teacher. And I guess the news picked up the story. They were loving the fact that this random foreigner had gone from pro runner to school teacher. So they came along, and not just them, there was also a TV show about it. And it featured on the local news, which is what you're seeing here with some of these B-roll clips. So the TV crew captured my first day on campus in this new job of mine, this plan B option that then had to turn into my plan A. So the school was a middle school, so I guess that's maybe 13 to 15 kind of age range. They were full of energy. So even though at first they were kind of shy, once they started opening up, we had some good chat. And it was fun, but at the same time, absolutely exhausting. Let me tell you, running 40k a day has nothing on a full day of English teaching. I just can't hack the full-time teacher life. What am I going to do now then? How am I going to continue the Ran to Japan journey? So I had no choice. At the end of the day, I realised there was only one job for me, and that was pro running. Because there was actually something I'd forgotten to mention. You know, when my Brooks contract did run out, I actually went and signed a new one. So I am officially with Brooks through until 2028. The pro runner journey continues. I'm repping the mighty Brooks right now, and it's just started pouring with rain. I thought I'd come up here for a sick little viewing spot. Could get a nice background as I drop that bombshell, but I might have to run back to the car because I'm about to get caught in a storm. So I had to play around with that reveal a little bit, keep you guys on your toes. There was never actually a teaching job potential, and that was just a fun couple days I spent as a guest sensei after being invited into the local school. But comment down below, did I have you on? Come on, surely everyone fell for that intro and thought my Brooks arc was over. But as I was saying, yeah, it's legendary to have Brooks' support now for the next sort of 2 years or so ongoing. Having re-signed with them, it just gives me that safety net. So because I can make a full-time living through that Brooks contract, I don't need to rely on stuff like social media, like the YouTube, Instagram, stuff like that. It takes the pressure off. But fear not, I am not going anywhere. I will still be making these videos. I'm here for the love of the game. And I want to bring you lot along for the journey and show that running can actually be an interesting sport. I could definitely never be one of those pros that just sits at home all day playing video games, watching movies, that kind of thing. I love being active. It's like in between my runs, my double days, my triple days, that's when I'm smashing out the YouTube stuff, thinking of ideas, filming like now, editing, all that kind of thing. That's like the other half of the week. That's my creative outlet when I'm not just pounding pavements. Right, let's take another look at this mountain view here. I was hoping for a nice picturesque sunset here. The summer view of Nano. It's a little bit grey and miserable. Yeah, you can see the unlimited running routes. Like every single day is just freestyling. I'll go over there, over here, over there. Like I'm bopping all over. There is endless possibilities. But yeah, what it means with this Brooks support is that basically I can focus 100% on performance, put everything into my running, which I've always said comes first. That is the #1 priority. And I build my whole life around that while showcasing it all at the same time in these videos. But I remember the first year actually on YouTube. So when I was going from literally 0 up to 100K, I was on that grind and I feel like I had to go all in because I knew that I basically had 6 months or so, maybe a year max, before I'd have to end up getting a full-time job, easing back on the mileage, say goodbye to those 40K days, those triple day training days. I feel like they don't quite fit in with your classic 9-to-5 office job. But because of that, I was so hungry to make it on YouTube. I was like, I've got to throw everything into this and I need my channel to pop off, which luckily it did. Somehow, yeah, the RTJ army got behind me straight from the start, almost from the first video, and it was just up and up from there. But I definitely felt the pressure that first probably year or so when every minute of my life outside of running was going into YouTube. It was absolutely exhausting. Like I didn't have time to socialize, didn't have time to meet up with friends, because any time like that was time wasted when I should have been editing a video, planning the next one. Because it's easy enough when you've got a following, like I've built up this audience now, people are engaged in the videos. But when you're coming from scratch, from nothing, you have to make people care. You have to make them actually want to follow your results and have interest in the actual person. So I was like, I cannot miss a week of YouTube. I have to keep pumping the videos out. And I didn't have any help from editors or anything at that point because there was almost no funds. Like I had no bankroll behind the YouTube. But now I'm luckily at a stage where I can offload some of that YouTube grind. Like I've worked with editors over the last year or so, as opposed to me doing absolutely everything, because I'm so obsessive as well. It's like every part of the video has to be perfect. But then I was reaching a stage where I was so nearly burnt out, whereas now I feel like, yeah, I can relax a bit and I can actually have a life outside of running and YouTube now. So all that's to say, I'm absolutely buzzing that Brooks wanted to re-sign me and keep supporting this Ran to Japan journey of mine. Now, speaking of Brooks, I ended up linking up with their Filipino team while I was out in Manila. They actually sponsor a bunch of different sports here, like triathlon and high rocks, as well as running. So it was quality meeting the full squad and getting treated to some local delicacies. But it wasn't all fun and games. There was business to attend to. That business being me versus my one fast twitch fibre. So let's head down to the local track, which seemed relatively quiet when we arrived. But wait till you see it later, because this country bloody love their running, despite the challenge of living in a permanent 30+ degree outdoor sauna. Right, so we're down at the track. They've got some fellow Brooks members from the Philippines team. Do you want to say hi for the YouTube?
Hi, Team Philippines.
Who are you? Introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm Roy Laudit. I'm Team Brooks.
Got the Hyperion 5?
Yeah.
Let's go.
Let's go.
And what's your distance? What's your favorite distance?
5 to 21.
Okay. And we had a good battle the other day.
Yeah.
You were in front of me the whole time, and then just at the end, I sneaked past. God, I'm a dick, just rubbing it in there. But Roy went out like a true warrior in that Manila race and fought for the win against a couple very strong Kenyans. I took the more conservative approach to get third place, but he had the balls to commit to the early pace, and it nearly paid off. We're also joined today by the 6th place runner from that event, another absolute legend called Raysen, who only got into the sport a couple years ago and is already smashing some great times with a whole lot more to come. Right, I have to see how much my body's recovered from the race. Still feeling pretty tired. Now, midnight run as well, and obviously factoring in the heat, the humidity, it's going to wipe you out way more than a usual half marathon. But just a few days later, back on the track to rip some speed. First time I've done 400s in ages, but at least I got the squad, the other Brooks guys with me. Help me along here. Oh, I got the lights now. Oh. Should we go? Yeah, ready? Ready. Let's go. So we've got 20 by 400 on the cards with 30 seconds jog recovery in between. It's a classic 5K, 10K type session, working on that top end. And I've done this one so many times before, it's a great fitness indicator so I can compare back to when I've done it last time. I think at my best, I managed to average 67 seconds for these 400s, which probably indicates a sub 29 10K. But I reckon at the moment, I'm in about 32-minute 10K shape, so we'll aim for 74s today. Well, I'm feeling pretty decent so far. Yeah, it's good having a little squad here. Just cruising on. We're on the recovery. How you doing? Feeling good? Yeah, it's still pretty hot out here in the evening, but one sit down, we're gonna go 5 of them, break up the 400s because it's so hot and humid. I'd usually smack them in one go, like 20 by 400, but yeah, I don't think you can do that here. You've got to let the heart rate come down a little before we go again. Not that it can really come down when the humidity is over 90% and the air is as thick as a blanket. Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1, let's go. So the pacing so far had been dead even and we were ticking over at 73, 74 second laps. But it seems the Filipinos have taken a note out of Japan's book as the boys went out the gate on their second set like greyhounds, putting 50 meters into me almost immediately. Some serious wheels on display, but I wasn't risking things this early into the sesh. Not that I could have run a flat out 66 second lap right now if I'd wanted, but with only 6 reps down, that heat is a cruel mistress and can come back to bite you if you're not careful. We went a flat out 400 race. But these boys are clearly no cart horses and managed to power through the later sets. It was good to rotate the pacing around to take some of that workload off, and just having other guys around is so much more fun. There's nothing worse than a solo track sesh, which is why I avoided it at all costs before. But now look at the crowds forming around this track. It's absolute madness. There's got to be 1,000 people cruising around these outer lanes here. It just shows how horrendous the Manila streets are for running when everyone's got to resort to hitting laps for their easy runs even. It makes the Tokyo running route seem luxurious for once. But I managed to hold on to the pace through these last few reps to bank a very solid one. Good workout, man. You smashed it, bro. You're an animal. Mate, you should be able to run under 30 for 10K. Maybe. 100%, you're quicker than me. You got the speed, yeah. It's nice today, it's quite cool, but I mean, I'm still absolutely soaking. It looks like I've been swimming. Yeah, the fact that these boys are doing it day in, day out in the chaos of Manila through brutal weather conditions is mad. I told them they've got to come over to Japan soon to visit, and they'll easily knock 5 minutes off their half marathon times. It would be a complete game changer for racing. Like just looking at my heart rate, I think it's worth about 15 seconds a K versus cool weather. Oh, there we go, survived it here. The full Brooks squad here, let's go boys. Brooks in the Philippines, man, you guys are animals. 31 Celsius, every day, just, it's a machine. And you've got to keep the machine fueled up. So over to a local restaurant that definitely took the crown for #1 scran in the Philippines. Wait, what's in this one? Pork?
Pork.
Crispy pork.
Pork, eggs.
Shishi!
Shishi!
You're never going to believe me after seeing those market goodies from the last episode. I mean, how could you possibly top the chicken head and pig intestines? But I swear down, this was up there with the best meals of my life. It's difficult to put into words just how good these crispy pork dishes were. This is a certified 9.5 rating. I cannot recommend it enough. Now, there were actually a ton of other interesting foods I tried that I didn't manage to squeeze into the Manila vlog last week, so I just had to pick out the highlights from it. And I was trying to find the ultimate food challenge that would defeat me. But I never thought that in fact the toughest thing that nearly finished me off completely wasn't in fact the chicken embryo, but it was this right here. This mango might genuinely be the worst thing I've ever eaten. So it's a rock hard, unripened mango with a fermented fish paste lathered all over it. Absolutely vile. Try as I might, I just could not finish the whole thing. So this has got to get a 1 out of 10. I'm still traumatized just thinking about how that sour sauce butchered a perfectly good mango. But at least all the other market snacks made up for it, and I left satisfied, belly full and legs intact, with my fitness trending in the right direction. I'm obviously still so far off my best, but I've got plenty of time to get back to that, and I'm in no rush now that I've got this extended Brooks deal. So I think what this shows you is the value of social media, the value of storytelling, and how it is crucial to any sport. And I've been able to raise the presence, I guess, of Brooks through my social media, through the YouTube, the Instagram, all of that. And I always have so many people come up to me when I'm traveling all around and telling me that, oh, they bought Brooks shoes for the first time because of watching my videos, which is legendary. But it shows that sport isn't just about performance. If people don't care about you as a person, then they're obviously not going to care about your results as well. And therefore, you have no value to a brand. So even though this last year for me has been an absolute disaster, it's just been nightmare after nightmare. I feel like everything that could have gone wrong has done. From arm infections to the crippling back problem, getting ill just before races. It feels like I've got every bit of bad luck out my system this year, so it can only get better going forward. And I've not been able to show anywhere near to my full potential yet, but Brooks have believed in me, and I know I've got so much more to come, so many more quicker times. And of course, I'll continue to showcase the story on here, on the YouTube. So I want to thank everyone for following along as I pursue my ikigai, my reason for being. How quick can I become in the marathon? Where is my ceiling? That's what I want to find out. Where is my eventual limit? But I will catch you in the next one. This has been Jake with Run to Japan. Remember, train harder, not smarter. Let's have it.